What's going on, everyone? It's Phil. It's Cody Jiru with Mastercrafted. We are doing our recap of Rocky Mountain Open, and Cody was nice enough to come on to break down his Drukhari win. I don't want to get into it too much because Cody deserves his laurels for a great tournament. Cody, it's good to see you. How are you?
Dude, always great to see you, Phil. Always great to be on Mastercrafted, man. Still riding high, even though it was, 10 days ago.
Yeah, yeah, we're finally getting onto it. I will say I'll blame myself for that. We're getting ready for the Wyoming teams tournament, so Lane and I are doing quite a bit of work to get ready for that. You will see that's coming this weekend. But let's talk about RMO because we're talking about a 200 plus player GT that Cody you ended up taking with Drukhari. Talk us through your initial thoughts. Where do you think Drukhari is right now, and the thoughts you made leading up to Rocky Mountain Open?
Sure, man. So I've been kind of 10th edition at the end has been really nice to me. I'm on a bit of a winning streak right now, so it's been really nice. And with Drukhari, like it's kind of off meta, but kind of on meta at the same time with what's happening. Been really thinking about kind of switching some things out of my list, but with Defilers coming in, the thing I wanted to take out actually ended up being like kind of essential to my list working. So it worked out pretty nice, man.
Okay, great. So what we'll do is we'll go over Cody's list. I'll explain it all, or I'll talk through it, and then Cody can explain his decisions. This is 2,000 points. Obviously, you're still running Spectacle. Nick Rosasco, I would say two of the best Drukhari players in the country, are still obviously very, very high on Spectacle. Despite it is still a very, very good detachment and still has a lot of tools in the meta. So you're running Lady Malice, Lilith, and then triple Succubus. One is your 2 damage Succubus. This seems pretty standard. Are you still happy with this assortment of characters?
Yeah, so honestly, I was really experimenting coming in, taking out the Ignore Overwatch Succubus there and 10 Witches to just try to get a little bit more anti-tank shooting, maybe with a Ravager or some bikes or things like that. But the Ignore Overwatch has been freaking money in the Tau matchup, money in Defilers, money into Votan, and the ability to just say, nah, you're not going to do that, and me tagging multiple things was actually really essential in those 3 games especially. But just kind of throughout where I can just throw out that unit and go, well, I can get to where I want to go.
Yeah. Overwatch keeps getting scarier and scarier. It has not been knocked down at all. It is still a terrifying thing, especially with Defilers on the prowl now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 units of witches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. 4 units of witches, all 10 mans. Are we still happy? 40 witches, that feels like the right number?
Yeah, I think 40 is kind of the way to go. Like I said, I was experimenting with 30 and it felt like I didn't have enough stuff, which is kind of weird for a Drukhari army, but 40 feels right. I do think there's a build where you go 50 or 60, but I think it dramatically tunes the damage down on the list. And I kind of like to kill stuff. I kind of like to deal the damage. And I think it just plays a little bit differently. This army, I can kind of ebb and flow, deal damage in my spots. Whereas I think the 50 and 60 witch list is more of a primary denial, and you win turns 4 and 5, and you're not killing as much.
Yep, totally makes sense to me. Our transports are a Raider and 2 Venoms. Obviously, these are critical. Being able to get back in at the end of your opponent's fight phase is fantastic. Obviously, being able to reactive move back into the Raider is so good. How essential were these for you throughout the course of the tournament?
Honestly, any Drukhari army needs some transports. So the big thing that I did was I either ran Lilith with 10 or I ran the Ignore Overwatch Succubus with 10 in the Raider to kind of switch it up. So if I'm going against a more heavy shooting army and I don't need Lilith to mulch infantry as much, she's probably just going to go with a 5-man in a Venom and do those little, in and out shenanigans. And then the big thing with the Raider and the Witches is disembarking 6 inches, moving 8, advancing and charging with a reroll because of the Succubus means I have really, really deep reach and I can kind of just go wherever I want. And with Ignore Overwatch, I can tag multiple units, their ability to cause desperate escape when you want to leave. And with a challenge met, if people want to move and do that kind of stuff. I always kept 10 on foot with the fights first. They were kind of my guarding the home unit. If anybody wanted to be too aggressive, they're a heroic threat. But they're kind of the first unit that I also throw out there too. And then I always threw the 2 damage Succubus in a Venom and she kind of did 2 damage succubus things.
Makes sense to me. And then we round out the list, a unit or 1 Chronos, 1, 2, 3 units of Hellions, 2 of them being 10 mans. I know Nick has talked about it a significant amount. This can be one of our biggest damage dealers. Obviously, they're incredibly fast. Obviously, they have a bunch of tools, and they are great in combat with all that damage too. And they are a good trading piece. They have a decent amount of OC. They can get on objectives and flip them because these 10 mans are quite big units, and they have the fly keyword, which can be huge for some matchups. And then the all essential double mandrake. You can't go home without the infiltrate, without the up down. You need them to be able to play the game. Totally makes sense. And then what I would say is one of the most important parts of this matchup right now, or this meta right now, is scourges. You have to have some version of them, and you took the all with dark lances, no haywires or anything like that. Talk us through those last couple of units.
So, I mean, yeah, mandrakes you want for sure, 2 units. I tried the Sky Reavers, the new Corsair unit, for a little bit. I missed the second unit of infiltrating, and Malice with the redeploy really allows me to take away infiltrate with my 2 units, and then being able to redeploy back to safety has been nice. But really, with Scourge units, this is where the list kind of changes. A lot of people don't take 3 units of Scourge in Spectacle. If you are taking 50 or 60 witches, you're kind of ditching the Scourge to do the primary denial thing. Here, I have triple Darklands because Defilers exist, Tau exist, and if I'm shooting Haywire, which I would much rather prefer 3 damage Devlins on these vehicles than Dark Lances, I'm within Overwatch range. I can't afford to get Overwatch because I'll die.
Yeah.
And I'll just stick to the 36-inch range Dark Lances, hope and pray that I hit on 4s or 5s, and you fail some 5-up infolds.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you're counting on because you definitely can't afford. You're absolutely right. The Overwatch nowadays is absolutely terrifying. These defilers will just pick up a full unit for free 99 without even breaking a sweat, and then you're down a very, very important unit that you need to take down some of these bigger assets. So yeah, completely makes sense. Are you happy with the list overall? If you were to recommend to our Drukhari mains out there that are still playing Spectacle of Spite, is this something that you would point them in the direction of?
I mean, honestly, like, I think, Phil, you've probably played long enough where, like, you just kind of feel a list. This is like me feeling my list. Like, I've tried to change it. I've always come back to it. And this just kind of gives me all the tools that I need. It's taken me, a year or so, whenever the Codex came out, to finalize this thing. And I'm just finally happy. I would not change it, man. I freaking love it.
That's what we like to hear. Play the list that works best for you, and it will show up on the tabletop when you get the practice and reps. And obviously, it has done so for you. You, Cody, and Nick, obviously Drukhari mains, and I love seeing you guys be successful at the top tables. And this isn't just a small little RTT or GT. You took this, obviously, to the very, very top of the Rocky Mountain Open. I will just point out, because we were talking about it before the show, I have never seen an opponent win percentage this high. It is at 77%. You gave, out of the 8 losses that your opponents had, because 2 went 4-2 and the others went 5-1, you were 6 of your opponent's 8 losses. So everyone you played was a monster. Everyone did really well at the tournament.
Listen, my dice might have been hot. I might have played well. But you know what? My opponents did me a solid by winning a lot of games for me, man. So hey, shout out to all 6 of my guys. If you guys are watching it, I appreciate it just as much as you guys do. So thanks a lot.
All right, well, let's get right into it. You played 6 rounds of 40k. Talk us through just a general idea of the rounds. Obviously, you played some fantastic opponents. Why don't you just give us a little rundown of each game?
Sure. So first round, I get paired into John Kilcommon's Tau Tactics guy. Me and John have had some great battles throughout the years. Great Tau player, and we kind of joked like, it's kind of a win-win for both of us, right? Whoever wins, I think, kind of gets vaulted to the top because they know that whoever loses probably going to go 5-1, and that opponent win percentage is going to be high. So, John, thanks for going 5-1 and staying true to your word. But 2, if we lose and it's the first round, 1, you lost to a damn good player. And 2, you ain't going to win the tournament. So the pressure's off and you can just relax, play 40K, maybe drink a couple cocktails, and we're good to go. But jumping into the game, I knew it was going to be a banger. He's great. And I knew going in, it was, so our game was taking hold on layout 1. And so we knew that first roll off was going to be super important to go first. I won the roll off to go first. And for me and Drukhari and my melee, being able to stage and kind of set the pace, really put him on his back foot. And I think he made a couple errors early. Were able to get charged right behind a wall. He measured the 7 inches, got behind it, but he was up against it. So I was kind of able to get my charge where I needed to. And then I kind of just pinned him in turn after turn so he couldn't get out. I did think I tried to swing big on turn 2, and I did not connect as much as I really wanted to. I'll admit, killing everything that I needed to, but he made a great play, made a great comeback. Twin Lance, everybody knows it, but he played it masterfully. His rapid ingress that he almost, I think, didn't do, but he did it. Heroic in with him, made it onto the objective, denied me primary. Then they ended up killing like 3, 4, 5 units, lived forever. It was honestly a great game, and I had a lot of fun. It's always great playing. John, I love these big tournaments because to me, I always want to play the best players at these tournaments. And John was on the radar as one of the top 5 dudes that I wanted to play, didn't want to play, but glad I did. And it was a great way to start the tournament.
If you do want to watch that game, I know that game was live streamed on War Games Live. So if you do have the opportunity, strongly recommend go check out Joel. His streams are fantastic. He always does a great job of supporting the Denver community. And when he comes out, we definitely really appreciate it. So that game is on War Games Live. And honestly, with one of, I would say, the most dominant meta armies now at the moment, which is Tau, seeing it played by somebody as good as John, there's definitely a lot of value in watching those games. So yeah. And I know John has talked to me about it before in terms of how much he fears the Drukhari matchup because you are so fast. You can trade effectively into them, which is not what a lot of armies can do. And you're able to play that trading game a lot better than most can because some cannot trade into Tau. They are too fast. They are too efficient. They can shoot too well. But obviously you have the speed, mobility, and combat, especially with that turn off Overwatch, and he isn't running as much indirect because I know I've seen different versions of the Tau Menace currently. Some have more indirect than others in terms of SMS, but obviously that is not as big of a deal if they're not running as many. So obviously if you saw like a bunch of storm searches across the table, maybe you'd be a little bit more concerned, but they weren't running as much indirect. So yeah, good round 1. You want to move on to the next round?
Yeah, so the next one I played was Cale Hopkins. He's playing Star Shatter Necrons. Really, he's a local guy. I think he plays on Green Team, forgetting. But great guy, nice guy. I won this game 100-39, and really it kind of swung in my favor. Turn 2, he got way too aggressive. I don't think he's played Spectacle before. I don't think he realized and respected the speed and the damage. And I kind of just trickled him away. And by turn 3, he was left with a couple Satan. That's about it. And just kind of hung on primary and eventually killed Satan, which is something that is very difficult for me to do. But round 2 is kind of nice. And this is no offense to Kale at all, but nice to not have to play a 5-round grinder right after playing John Kill comments. But Kale ended up finishing 4-2, which is sweet. And we talked after the game. Great dude.
No, it's we've talked about it before, Cody. When those armies are so elite heavy and they don't have the opportunities to trade into, and you're able to get into those trading pieces efficiently with your speed and a little bit of your long range shooting, it is much better. You know, we've played the matchup multiple times with Nick Rosasco going into Catan. Catan are not what they want to see. All your 2 damage goes down to 1 damage. You are going to struggle to kill them. It is going to be an absolute brawl to take them down. And some Catan armies can definitely shove those in their opponent's face, and you're not going to have a real opportunity to kill them. So yeah, you got to rely on scoring, which is obviously something that we've talked about before when we talk about trading and efficiently playing your army. So yeah. Okay, Next up, Ryan Wishkachil, another local. Give us a heads up. How did this game go?
So he was playing Scintillating Legion. The score was pretty darn close. He was a little aggressive early. I ended up getting Fate Weaver turn 1, which was a little surprising. I made some 7 and 8 inch charges to make sure I got into that. So little luck on my side. Got a couple Dark Lances through too.
That's always nice.
Which, yes, and even with his tokens, he's rerolling and failed a couple to help me out a little bit. So I appreciate that, Ryan. Thanks. But I've played the bird matchup a few times, and you got to put your foot on the pedal, man. Like, you got to go out and you got to get them. You got to kill the screamers, you got to kill the flamers, and you got to go, can you win with 4 big birds? And when I kill Fate Weaver turn 1, the answer is, can you win with 3 big birds? And the answer was no. He kept up on primary because, man, once they start accumulating those tokens, it's every time they fail a 4 up on a Dark Lens, I'm going to re-roll it. And those rerolls, man, were money for him. I want to say I kind of sealed it up like turn 4, and I kind of just like played on the objectives, got lucky on some secondaries and things like that. But overall, a good game. And I was kind of mad that I played him because Scintillating Legion is one of those armies that I think is really good into the Defiler meta. And so knocking out Ryan, who is a great player, with my army instead of him knocking out more Defilers kind of made me a little bit mad. But we actually had never played a one-on-one game before. We've met in some doubles tournaments before, but no one-on-one. So it was great to finally play him. Great to play Scintillating Legion. It was a good game. 97-82 is a great game. And
Yeah.
I just maybe got a little bit too aggressive for him. But it came out in my favor, and I was yeah, I'm rolling.
Absolutely. Obviously, Ryan also went 4-2, so also did you a real solid in terms of ending the tournament really well. But the field is narrowing now. You're playing another Colorado local, MHM aficionado, Eldar aficionado, Joel Davis. He is an exceptional Eldari player. He's very, very good in the local meta. And obviously now it's the pointy years against each other. So I took a look at his list prior to this tournament. I really liked it. I know it is not his traditional, or Joel never runs traditional Eldar. This was more of a traditional Eldar list. So talk us through, how did the pointy year battle go?
So I always get a little anxious playing Eldar because Eldar got a lot of shenanigans. I haven't played them for a little while because they've been toned down so much that everyone's kind of gotten off of them. And it always scares me when someone like Joel, who always seems to be picking up like those little niche armies, like he'll pick up orcs when everyone's off of them, and he'll find a build for them and he'll do great. And he's obviously found a build that works great for him with Eldar and, of all things, Guardian Battle Host. And so it took me a little bit because I'm like, man, I haven't played Guardian Battle Host for a while. Let me take a look like at his army, and you look at it, and it's just Eldar trash, right? You're like, what the hell does this army do? It's Guardian Battle Host, and you got 2 squads of Guardians. Okay, so what are you doing with this thing, right? And so I looked at it, dove into the strats. We talked pregame about everything. I know he was nervous about the matchup. I was a little nervous because I just never like Joel. Joel plays. He can be aggressive. He can be passive. He can be tricksy. He can be, and so it's kind of weird to feel him out, and he's got me a few times in the past, and so I really kind of wanted a little revenge game with it. But we deployed. We both had redeploys. He lost the roll off, so he had to redeploy first, and he did everything. Redeployed one of his Guardian units pretty close to my line that infiltrated. I ended up redeploying my Ignore Overwatch squad with a 10-man with witches. I as close to him as possible. And it was, all right, who's going to go first, baby? And I think we tied the first time, and then I won the roll off for the second one. And turn 1, I throw my Ignore Overwatch squad forward into his big 10-man brick of Guardians defenders because they didn't have the invul. They had a D cannon attached. They had 4 regular warlocks with flamers, a warlock that's -2 to charge, and a farseer. And I killed every single one of them but the farseer with the 10-man.
Seems like a very good way to start the tempo of that game.
Yeah, and then he was playing off his back foot for the rest of the game, and it's just some back and forth, but losing that big unit that he can't pick up and kind of put wherever he wants is going to be a struggle, and I just get to sit there and wait for him to come because now he has to be aggressive. He made a push turn 3, he moved the other Guardian unit moved like 16 inches, shot, charged, right? Killed like 3 units, and then I was like, all right, I'm going to kill that Guardian unit. Scores pretty lopsided, but that's just because of how the first turn and things went. And I thought he played it right. He's down going in like this is a mismatch for Eldar, right? Like I have more stuff. I do what they do, except my tricks are just better. I do way more damage. And so for him, it's, well, if I go first, I got a nice shot because I can wipe out 2 or 3 units with this Guardian unit. And so I thought he played it right in that sense. He lost the roll off to go first, and this is where we are.
It can be tough, especially when your 2 great players are going up against each other, and you obviously are being very, very meticulous about how you're planning your first turn and obviously looking to take care of that opportunity, especially going in round 4. Right now we're at the meat and potatoes of this tournament. Everyone is realizing that they have a chance to go undefeated, and obviously it gets much tighter. So Joel, I know he's going to be back. He's going to be at the team's tournament this coming weekend. I'm super looking forward to him playing some more Eldar. It is a little bit of a different list, but it will be good to see it on the table. But you have another killer lined up, ready to go. Ben Jurek, his CSM, Defilers. This will be the first time you face Defilers this tournament. How do we feel about him?
So going in, I think I feel like everybody else does that doesn't have Defilers, and I'm kind of like, this kind of sucks. Packbound Zealots, of course, everything he has is Nurgle outside of like 2 units. So I planned for this. I had played some practice games with it. We're on layout 6, which actually I think is super important for this matchup. Honestly, it does give him very good firing lanes, but it gives me some really nice ones too, where I can kind of play 2 lanes, which is what I end up doing. So early on, he gets first turn. He pushes up with a couple units to do stuff and things like that. I knew going in, I had to push some pace. I had to make him. So my big thing is when I'm playing an army like this and going into the tournament, my hope was, well, I know my army, right? I know it inside and out. I know exactly what it can do. I know exactly what it can't do. And I know how to play it in all the situations. I was hoping that people that are bringing 3 Defilers, you had Defilers cracked, out of this world good, but you haven't got the reps in. You don't necessarily know how to move on everything. You don't know the target priority. You don't know what to do if X, Y, or Z happens. And I'm hoping perfect storm. I roll in. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to try to do this, and I can just outplay you, not necessarily because my army's better. And I think that's a mix of what happened here. So early on, I'm looking at this. So we're playing Terraform, which I laughed and I talked to Ben at the beginning of the tournament. I said, dude, listen, if we're gonna play, just how about this? Let me go first. We'll play round 5 and we'll be good, dude. And it'll be even. Because if I can go first on Terraform, I'm gonna terraform all 3 objectives. And I'm just gonna sit back and I'm gonna reap the benefits of Terraform points every single turn. Well, I get him round 5, except I go second, and I'm like, shit, this could be a problem. Yeah. So he rolls out, has Vashtor sit in the middle, terraform. He has like this Ogren and other like guardsman dude roll up, terraform another objective. And then on the bottom objective, he is not terraforming. And so he's kind of waiting. I was like, okay, I need to get his Overwatch out. Right. So I like to give Overwatch heavy armies. I just want to get out of the way. Right. Like I'm going to give you something juicy and make you think about it. John mentions it on his podcast about me asking him about the first Overwatch. And you never take the first Overwatch. Guys, if you have an Overwatch army and you're good at Overwatch, don't ever take the first Overwatch. Ever. Okay. Don't ever do it. You're going to want to. They're going to want you to. And I wanted him to. And he didn't take it. And I was like, shit. Because I just moved 5 mandrakes out to the middle. And I'm going to go, okay, I'm going to auto C Vashtor. I'll deny you primary. And I will terraform this objective. He's going to Overwatch me with this Defiler sitting in the middle right here. Like he's going to. And he goes, nah, I'm going to wait. And I was like, holy shit. Like, let's go. So then I move up some witches. They terraform and take away the objective from the Ogren. I charge that squad, kill it. And then I end up terraforming the bottom objective, I think with some Hellions or something like that. And so we end up going some back and forth. The key turn was turn 2. He moved his Defiler. So, that pocket on layout 6, right? That has the long one and the short one. And you can always hide stuff in that little pocket in the corner of your deployment zone. So he moves a Defiler all the way over into the pocket, into the bottom ruin pocket right there. So it can't see out into the midboard. It can only see along the board edge and into the ruin right in front of it. Yep. The problem with this is there's no Overwatch threat now in the middle of the board. And there's a big like blind spot for his Defiler. His Predator that he had on that side had now moved up enough. I had just a picture. It was like the heavens looked down on me and said, you need to rapid ingress 10 Hellions right here and nothing can see you. Yep. Right in the middle part at the bottom right there underneath. I don't know. Can I get on there? Yep. They were right along there. Can I? Yeah, I don't think I can, but right along there off of the objective. And his defiler is down there in the bottom right corner. Can't see him. And the next turn, my turn 2, I roll the Hellions over. I bang a 6-inch charge, and I kill the defiler. I end up it's predator down there though that's on this objective never dies. Its stealth is insane with the Nurgle thing. Can't just be 18-inch lone op. Has to be stealth. So Scourge are hitting on 5s. So that was a key component because it just gave me that side locked down outside of the predator at the bottom. And so what ended up happening was turns 3 and 4 were trying to kill stuff. I'm killing way less of his stuff, but everything of his is up towards the top and it's swinging down towards me. And I had a point, turn 4 was, I still had my 10-man Overwatch squad and I still had a 5-man Lilith squad. And I said, well, do I be aggressive? Do I deny points? And I go, no, you know what? I have the second turn. I'm going to play for bottom of turn and I'm going to make sure that I get the points and I choose the battles that I want to do. So I reverse the entire flank. I go from the top all the way down to the bottom to that L.
Right here.
No. If you're go to the blue deployment, so
Yep.
I go from my corner down to my the big ruin down here in the L.
You pocket here and
Over,
here.
yep, right there. Yep, right there. And I go, I'm gonna wait because you can't see me from up top up there. And he does get a predator shooting downwards. Doesn't kill the Kronos that's on there. And then my turn 4, I tag a Defiler, I tag a Venom Crawler, and I tag a Predator with the Ignore Overwatch squad. And I aim all my guns and a grenade at a middle in the middle Defiler. I get a good grenade. I get a couple Dark Lances through. Lilith pops lethal strat, and I end up taking down the Defiler. I terraformed with the Venom. Then the Defiler explodes. Does 4 wounds to the Venom, thank God, but does do 6 wounds to the Witches. So I made it we talked about it. I'm like, all right, man, what are you going to roll first? And he goes, well, it's D6. It's D6. All right, what do you want to roll first? He goes, I'm going to roll the Witches first so I can save the 6. I said, okay, so this is Witches? Yeah. And he rolled the 6. And I was like, you said Witches, right? And he's like, whoa, hold on. I was like, no, you said Witches, right? So the whole squad dies. And I was like, but you got to use a different dice. And then he wanted me to pick the dice. And I'm like, no, dude, don't do that. That's no, man, don't make me kill my own guys. So he picked the dice, rolled a 4. I was like, let's go. And I knew at that point, I had won. We scrapped together some more points, terraforms and all that stuff. But the biggest difference was his action economy. I ended up scoring, we looked at it, is either 10 or 11 more terraform points than him. Simply because I'm just throwing units on, terraform. You killed him. Terraform again. And just being able to get those points. And he doesn't have the action economy. And I think we talked on Discord about this, where 3 Defiler is really good. We'll kill stuff. Teams list. Let's do it. But in a singles, I think 3 is one too many, and you kind of want that 250 points for more stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that highlights one of the things that if you're planning on playing in the Defilers at this point, which everyone, you should be prepared. If you're not prepared to see Defilers in singles or teams, you're messing up. You got to be able to handle a version of Defilers, whether that be the Death Guard ones, the EC ones, Thousand Suns, or CSM. I don't think we're going to see too many World Leaders Defilers running around. But action economy is huge. They are still 250 points, and if people are running 2 or 3 of them, their trash is going to be very, very shorthanded. So, yes, all those things are going to make a great difference. It's good to hear. This is round 5. This is a great game in a Benjerk, obviously on your preferred mission. If this wasn't Terraform, I think this can get real bad, real fast.
It's tough. It's tough, and there's no search and destroy day 2. So that was the other equalizer I was looking for, is if I can get a search and destroy, I can kind of just get on you and kind of hem you in, kind of like what I did with John round 1. And just keep throwing stuff at you, even though you're going to kill it, but sit on objectives, but no search and destroy day 2. And I terraform. Listen, man, I got a little lucky, right? With the opponents, the missions and stuff like that. And sometimes you want to. Highlight in this game though was I needed a Hellion to live on that bottom objective for me. And he shot his Defiler at me. I was like, all right, I'll pop smoke. So he's hitting on 4s. He ends up, and it was funny because Ben Neal played Trey this same round, and something similar happened to him, but I popped smoke, so he's going to hit on 4s. He gets 28 shots, right? He ends up dealing 48 wounds to my Hellions, 28 shots, and he hit on 4s. Like
That
that's
unit is a problem.
like he started with 28 shots, not hit. He didn't get 28 hits. I don't know how many hits he got, but he did 48 wounds, 28 shots, 48 wounds. That's me making saves. I had to make 48 saves. And I'm like, dude, this is so stupid. I'm thinking, dude, man, smoke might save me. It's AP1, so I have cover, right? Like I can make sense. No, it did not matter.
Nope.
I was like, dude, this is disgusting.
Yep.
I was like,
And people are running multiples of those.
Oh yeah. So another tip for you: if a Defiler's shooting at you, it doesn't matter if it's -1 to hit. If Abaddon's around and they get full rerolls and it's Nurgle and you're gonna crit on 5s, your unit's done. It's dead. So just don't worry about it.
Well, even in things that are supposed to be insanely durable, even Catans, a Defiler will just one-shot a Catan. Just pick it up.
Yep. Yeah, hey, I got 8 autocannon shots. Why don't you take 16 wounds from these autocannons? Oh, by the way, take 12 deaths, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, okay, cool, man. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Thanks.
Yeah, that seems really fair and balanced. It seems perfectly reasonable. You reroll all hits and all wounds, and you're critting on 5s, and you have sustained lethal and dev wounds. Cool, got it. All right.
But it was awesome, dude. I thought our game was great. We had great communication. Obviously, Ben Urich, like top dude. Art of War, all that kind of stuff. I thought we had a great game. We've played twice before. He wiped the freaking floor with me in Utah at a GT that he won with Eldar. Then I got him back at Worlds. And then this one was kind of the, hey, who's going to pull ahead in the series? And so I was kind of glad I got him. 81-71. Great freaking game. And thanks, Ben, for playing me on round 5 in Terraform.
Yeah, we'll make sure we pass our thanks along because that is him doing you a huge solid. And now we go into the last round. You're playing into Votann. I didn't think that Votann would be in the final round of this tournament, but we are. They are undefeated. They're not even running traditional Votann. They're running Need Guard, which is, I would say, off meta for what usually running Hearthband. Maybe even you see some Delve, depending on the mission set and stuff like that. But we are seeing Need Guard here. Talk us through your final match in here.
So first off, me and Junior have played a few times before. Awesome dude. I love playing Junior. Really chill, just kind of mellow guy, and I really enjoyed that. So my experience into Votann to start with has never, like, I just kind of laughed because I don't know what their army did before I played Junior. I just knew I killed them really well, right? Like I know that they get like these points for killing stuff or being on objectives, and I'm like, I don't know, like it switches. Never, when things start doing more damage to me, I love it because 5 intercessors kill my entire army. So I don't care if you get +1 to wound. I don't care if you get +1 to hit. And so I've never really kind of learned what Votann did. In all honesty, I've kind of just ran them over every time I've played them. But with Junior obviously is 5-0. Junior obviously is very, very good with Votann. So he's doing something right. And so our last mission, I believe, was Taken Hold. It was Taken Hold. So just regular roll 40k on layout 6. I win the roll off to go first. I kind of stage. I kind of want to see what he's doing. And the first 2 turns, he doesn't do anything. He just throws some units out, deny some primary, get some secondaries, lets me do my thing. And I'm like, dude, this guy's totally content with just sitting here. And he has bottom of turn. So he's going to get a 15 on primary if I do nothing about it. So turn 3, I decide to do something about it. And I just get at that ass. And I just charge as much shit as I possibly can into his deployment zone. He has both his land forts are back. He has he ran out of trash too. So he can't just start throwing shit on objectives and scoring points anymore. He has to use like real units. But to make sure that he doesn't do that, I decide turn 3 is going to be my go turn, and I don't kill a lot, but he is not leaving his deployment zone turn 3, and he's not getting on the objectives, and he ends up killing like all that kind of stuff. Like he kills all of it, right? Because Votann are super lethal. That is something I do know, that Votann do kill things well. And he had a 2-man artillery piece. Okay, D6 plus 4 shots, 6-1-1 profile, but in his detachment, he can give them sustain 2, reroll hits. And so that kind of damage was just compounding every single turn. And of course, it's in the back corner, so I'm not going to be able to get to it. And he's just like, well, I'm going to kill this unit, and then I'm gonna shoot this unit. And it's just like I'm just picking up entire unit. Like he just picked up 10 witches and a succubus. I don't even know why I rolled because he did so many wounds to him. But it was me deciding turn 3 is going to be the go turn. I'm going to make sure that he's not able to score. He ends up killing a ton of my stuff in reprisal. I'm on objectives. I had 1.5 more turns of primary and able to do my secondaries while he's worried about killing me. And that ended up being the difference in the game.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Indirect is probably one of the things that you, Cody, do not want to see, especially
Right.
efficient indirect, right? It's one of the things that can pick up your trading pieces effectively before you're actually able to use them for something.
Yep.
You are only T3 on pretty much everything, and you only have 3 transports to hide all your stuff in.
Yep.
Something's going to be out and exposed, and any decent indirect is going to start picking your units up or punishing them to the points that they're not effective. And that can really hurt for an army that needs those effective trading pieces as the game goes on.
Yeah, and I have a lot more stuff on foot than most other spectacle lists. Like the 10-man witch squad's on foot, Malice is on foot, all 3 scourge squads are on foot, and then I have little 5-mans on foot. And so it really played a big role in I just it's kind of one of those things I can't stop him from doing it. So I'm not going to worry about it. When you got pieces like that, and it's like, man, I can't worry about him indirecting because he's just going to do it. So I might as well just absorb it, deal with it, hope that he picks the wrong target. Hope those 4s don't pop up so much when he's shooting them.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. We've talked about this before, Cody, when you've come on before in terms of trading, and we talked about trading game plans because I think your Drukhari obviously are have to be very efficient into it. If you deviate your game plan to the point that you're no longer playing what your army is good at or what you're capable of doing, you're already playing into your opponent's hands. And you're already going to give them an unnecessary advantage to win that game. So you do have to still play what your army is capable of doing and what you are, what you plan for as a player. And deviating too much is going to lead you to losing more games of 40k.
That you hit it on the head, man. Like, I mean, I again know my army really well, played to their strengths. Big thing for me is defilers don't have any indirect. A lot of people don't have a ton of indirect, so it's Scourge is bouncing in and out, hoping I'm rolling 4s and 3 pluses in most cases on stuff, and you're failing.
Yeah.
That's kind of nice.
Yep. You're not even trading, right? You're popping out, you're
Yep.
shooting. You might not kill a defiler. You probably won't kill a defiler in one round of las cannon shooting or darkland shooting. But you'll kill it in 2, 3
Yeah.
if you keep giving them the shots. So all of those things are definitely beneficial. And obviously, Drukhari is an interesting place as we transition to 11th edition. So let's do that real quick. Obviously, 11th edition is coming up. We're all getting excited. I
Oh yeah.
cannot wait.
Yeah.
I got the itch. Like, man, I just want 10th edition to be over so I can see what 11th edition is like. So, Cody, give your expert opinion. You're coming off Rocky Mountain Open win, one of the biggest tournaments in the country. Where is Drukhari going in 11th edition?
Man, I'm hoping they're kind of staying where they are, a little under the radar. You're looking at the layouts and stuff that we've seen and with terrain. Like it seems like terrain is more centrally located, at least in the 2 layouts that we have, which seems to be favoring melee armies. And so that's kind of cool. The change to heavy looks kind of nice with Scourge being able to be hidden or whatever they're calling it, obscured, whatever, by not moving. Also sounds kind of nice. But I think there's going to be some things that are going to rock the boat with 11 that I don't think people are going to expect. And so I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to, man, I have loved the releases that they've done with the different detachments. I'm excited to see what kind of detachments I get and how they're going to change and things that I can combo. Now that you can combine essentially 2 detachments and get the benefits of both is what it seems like. Man, I'm excited to see what kind of stuff that I can do. But I mean, man, dude, they are my first army. They're my first love. I stay true, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they could do in 11th, man. Because I'm pretty darn excited.
Yeah, I mean, the floodgates are going to open when those detachment points
Oh
come out, and you're like, man, which one of these are 1 detachment points and 2 detachment points? My biggest concern is about balance, right? I want the game to have the opportunity to be balanced, but I remember when 10th edition first hit. I remember when 9th edition first hit. It was the wild, wild west
yeah,
out there. And now you're telling me there's going to be some of these armies are going to have, like Space Marines are going to have hundreds of combinations. And I know from myself seeing GW up to this point, it's going to be a very difficult thing to balance. It's going to be hard. But that means that there's going to be opportunities for you to take advantage and find those combinations that work for you. And I would I would expect there's going to be multiple combinations that are going to be quote unquote high end competitive. right? Like even if it's like 10 detachments, some of these smaller factions like Drukhari, maybe they only have 10 detachments, but there's a bunch of 1 point, 2.1s that they add in. It's going to give a lot more flavor to some of these armies and kind of build it your own way. And it's still going to be competitive, which I know a lot of players care about, right? Like they want to play their factions, but they want to have an opportunity to play it at the top tables. And, it can definitely be done. And it's going to be even more so when we see all these detachments come by.
Yeah, I think what I'm most excited about with these detachments is I think it allows you to play into the meta more, right?
Mm.
Like, I mean, if Terminators become really good, World Eaters now have a detachment where Terminators get something, right? And it costs you one detachment point. And it's like, oh, things are tough. Cool. I need to be tough too. I'm gonna play my one detachment point tough detachment, or I need to be more killy, or I need to be faster. Let me throw that detachment in. And so what I like it, the idea of I don't know the execution yet, but the idea of it sounds really nice. So people can adjust to the meta. They can play with more models. And I think having a little detachment of like, oh, these are my fast guys while I'm really tough, or these are my damage dealers while I'm really fast. That kind of stuff I think is really cool. I think it is going to be hard to balance, but I will give GW credit. They have come out outside of Defilers, balanced things relatively fast, and Eldar at the start of but they've come out, they've realized, hey man, we kind of messed up a little bit, and they've made those changes. And so, yeah, man, the beginning of 11th is going to be crazy, but everybody's going to be crazy,
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And there's going to be stuff that gets overlooked, and those sleuths, they're going to find it like instantly. They're going to be like, oh, this broke it, bang, get it. But there's going to be some internal balances in some of these with points and things, I bet. And it's I think it's gonna be real nice, man. I think 10th has been the best edition of 40k that we've ever had. And I think 11th is just gonna be better.
Hey, I love to hear it because I think you're absolutely right in terms of the variety that we've seen be successful at the top tables. I think a good parameter of a good, healthy environment is what we see at teams. Because as teams has started to grow and we start to see these combination of armies, like people are putting more value into teams because it's become more prolific in the United States and because we're starting to care about it a little more. There can be a lot of value and we can see things that we don't normally see in singles environments. And then we're seeing different armies take top places at singles tournaments. Now, you're right, Adley Defilers are right now in the place they're kind of tamping down on all the things because if you look at you running Drukhari, the next three armies were all CSM, pack bound Defilers, right? Like that's a problem. It's kind of like when we saw Mordaka came out and that was at
Yeah.
RMO the same time last year and they came out, took the top three spots and they were like, yep, that's a problem. So
It
we'll
was
see.
it was fun walking up and down the top tables, and all you see is you just see Defiler on Defiler, a ton of scintillating Legion and Demons in there, and then it's like, oh hey, there's like a Necron guy over there, and then it's like my Drukhari army, and then there's Junior with his Votan, and Roddy of all things playing freaking Grey Knights, dude. Get
Yeah.
out of here with that. Right? But again, I think that's a testament to I have always said it, man. You know your army inside and out. You're a faction expert. You can beat meta, broken, all that kind of stuff any day of the week.
Absolutely. And I think that's the perfect thing to end off on. Cody, you got anything else?
Nah, man, I always appreciate you having me on, dude. And dude, I love it, man. Wish I could
Yeah.
join you guys in Wyoming this weekend. If we didn't have high school graduation this week, I'd be down there.
You know what, Cody? It's always good talking to you. I definitely wish you were up as well. But we're gonna see each other soon. We're gonna see each other at Challengers Cup. We're gonna see each other at more tournaments as we go forward. And Cody and I will get more games in because the last time we played against each other, I think I was running GSC and you were running your Drukhari, and that was a while ago. So we'll have to get in another tournament rep here soon. Uh, Other than that, thank you so much for tuning in. Cody, congratulations again for winning Rocky Mountain Open. That is absolutely fantastic. And guys, do not forget, if you want to play an army, just play your army. Just get good at it. Just practice it, get the reps. There's not an army that can't be successful, and get prepared for 11th edition. Get your hobbying done, get your painting done, get ready to go because 11th edition is going to blow the doors off. It is going to be insane, the wild, wild west out there. And do not forget, victory isn't given. It's forged, and it's forged right here on Mastercrafted.